Howdy ho, my crafty friends. How are you today? I hope you're doing well. Welcome to the chaos. So I had an idea, and I ran back to my craft room and got started, and then I thought, oh, I have to share it with you guys. So I'm in the middle of craziness here, and I'm looking for some paper scraps. Okay, here's a little one, and I'm going to show you what I'm doing. Here's what I'm looking for, right here. Here's some more paper scraps. Yeah. Okay, so I was talking to my friend Amy. Oh my gracious. Today, and I realized that Mother's Day's coming up. Actually, my friend Kim told me that, and I couldn't believe it. Already, Mother's Day's coming up. But craft fair season's coming up. You know, all that fun stuff that we like to do. So I got to thinking, you know, we like to buy stuff, you know, at craft fairs. So, I thought, maybe I could put something together for a craft fair. Now, I don't do craft fairs. I used to do them all the time. But I'm past that craft fair stage. Because, quite honestly with you, I'm too old. I know I'm really not old, but I'm too old to get into all that craziness. So, okay, I've lost my, oh, here it is. Let's say I lost my paper box. This is what I was looking for. So, I came back and I thought, if I was at a craft fair and I was going to buy something for my mama. Now, my mama's no longer with us. You know, what would I buy her? And what do I like? Because, well, I am a mama. And I like, you know, for Mother's Day, I don't like big expensive stuff. But I like stuff like this. You know, that I can put in my purse, I can decorate things with, you know, that are handy. So I thought, I'm going to make one of these. And then I'm going to share it with my friend Amy. So by the time she sees this, she will have gotten this in the mail. I hope. Otherwise, darn, now you know. So this is quick and easy. So what you need is just a thin, really thin piece of cardstock to work as your base, okay? Because you're going to need a base for this. And then you need a decorative piece of cardstock. Now, mine is rather plain, but I'm going to decorate it. But it doesn't have to be that plain. You can have something that's more decorative if you want. And then I have a decorated piece here. Okay, that's my inside. Now, the reason I have this little sandwich here is because I wanted it to have a little bit of girth, because I'm going to sew through it. I'm going to sew these pages into it. And one page, just one piece of cardstock, is not enough if I'm going to sew through it. It's going to tear. So I need the girth plus the glue to hold it together. Now, I know when I put this in, my edges here need trimmed. That's okay. I'm going to trim it after I glue it together. See, after I glue it together, I can come in and I can trim that. Just like, you know, when we do paper, you know, you get that little bird big thing happening. But I can come in and trim it and make it nice and neat. I can round the corners. I can do whatever I want. And then on the front of this, I think I buried it. This is the little piece that matches the inside. But look what's on the front. Isn't he cute? Oh my God, she's so stinking cute. I'm going to put that right there. And I'm going to round the corners. And I'm going to make this a little pocket. And there's going to be a little tag that goes in the top that, you know, Mom can take out and write little notes on the back if she wants. But first, I need to glue these together so they can be drying. Now, what am I going to use to glue them together? So they need to stay really glued together, not come apart. Because this could be used for a purse. This could go into something like, you know, if mom is a, you know, goes to the office, this could go into like her, what are they called? I don't know what they're called. I haven't gone into an office in in years. I used to go into the office, you know, the computer bag. You know, so it needs to be able to stand up to that. So think what you would do if you were making your journal. How you would want it to stand up. So I'm either going to use my Scotch glue stick or my Fabri-Tac, because I'm also going to be stitching through here. So I need this to really stick, okay? I need it to really stick. You know what? But I also don't want it to be really wet. So I don't want the wet. Now, I could use my art glitter glue, but it dries too fast for me to be able to line everything up to make sure that it's straight. That's why I chose these two. And I think I'm going to go with this one. And I hope I have enough on this stick. Otherwise, I'm going to have to go over there and get another one. Okay, now the most important places are going to be your edges. You don't really need to worry about the middle too much if you're using a really good sticky glue stick like this one is, because you're going to be sewing. But you do need to make sure you get your edges. Now, if you do want to sew around it, and you use something that's really sticky like this or your Fabri-Tac, make sure it dries completely before you do that. Don't do this and then go take this to your sewing machine while your glue's wet, because you will gum up the works of your sewing machine and you will not be happy with me. Okay? So, you stick your center in. Now, if you notice that I folded both pieces before I did this, and I did it on purpose to help me line everything up. It has been rainy today. I mean, hot today. And we just got nasty storms starting. So, hopefully we will get this finished. There. And by folding both pieces of paper, it lines it up easier. See? Already had it folded, and then it just lined it right up. Okay? Now I'm going to do the same thing with this piece. Since that piece is already folded, I can come in, I can make sure that my edges are down. So these are great to give as quick gifts for graduation. They're great to use in craft fairs. There, I'm already folded. So this is my tip to you. Fold the paper that you're putting in. Make sure your crease is nice and crisp. Put your glue down and then take your fold into fold, and then do one side at a time and then unfold this side. Okay? So, and put your glue over here. So I'm going to start over here. Now I'm going to have glue on both sides. You know, I'm going to glue both sides, but I'm going to start on this side. Okay, now it's folded, and I'm keeping this folded, and I'm tucking it into the fold, and I'm laying it down exactly where I want it. And by having my page pre-folded, I know exactly where it goes. Just like that. I don't have to worry that my page isn't going where it isn't supposed to. Because, oh my gosh, I was having such a terrible time with that. So I had to come up with a way to, you know, to make that quit happening, because it was making me crazy. Okay, yeah, that glue stick's just about done. Now, I'm going to take this side. Whoops. And I'm going to fold it up. And I'm going to take my fingers, and I'm just going to work it all the way around. Okay, I'm done with that. I'm going to use my bone folder I'm going to work all the way up, all the way out. I'm going to make sure everything's pushed down. Okay, now that it's down, I can trim the edges. And I know somebody's going to say, why are your nails dirty? I was working in the garden today, and I have scrubbed them, and I have scrubbed them, and I have scrubbed them. And then my sister called and said, you need to pay attention to the weather. And I had just gotten a thunderstorm warning. I said, I know, we have thunderstorms coming in tonight. She said, no, it's now. 80-degree winds. Her husband was at work. She said, they've blown out the windows at Tim's office. You need to take cover. It's like, okay. So by the time I got my bird feeders taken down, I brought my plants in. I had them sitting outside, my little seedlings. There. Now, everything's even. Everything's down. Now, let me check the bottom. Oh, I have just a little tiny piece here at the bottom. And I got the door to my greenhouse closed. I called her and said, okay, I'm in, but the wind was so loud, she couldn't hear me. Okay, everything's in. Now, I want to round these corners here. So I'm going to take, actually, I'm going to take this one because that's several pieces of paper. So I'm going to take my chompy. I'm going to take my chompy dude. And I'm going to round these corners because I just think they look neater. Now, if you wanted, and you have a laminator, now's the time to laminate this. If you want to laminate, now's the time to laminate. Okay? So, if you're going to laminate, you would lay this out flat, but wait till your glue dries. Okay? You have to wait till your glue dries. And then you have to lay it out flat, run it through the laminator. Okay? Your glue has to be completely dry. Run it through the laminator. And then, after you laminate, then you put your, then you can sew in your signatures. Now, the only problem with that is you can't pre-fold because of this. Now, you can go on and poke your holes, but you'll just have to, poke them back again as you sew through. Okay. So, since I've rounded those corners, I'm going to go on and use this one on the biggest one, the 10 mil. And I'm going to round these corners. Now, the paper on the inside is just copy paper. And I'm just keeping the inside of this simple. Just really simple. And I can't get all that in at one time. It's just a couple of sheets of copy paper. Just something to keep notes on. That's all. Just something, maybe to keep notes on. Maybe to make a quick grocery list. Or she's in Lowe's and she thinks of something that she needs for the house and she's maybe written down the measurement of a window or, something like that. Okay, so they're rounded, that side's rounded. Now, I'm going to make this a side tuck, so it's going to get glued here. And I don't think I'm going to glue it up there. I think I'm just going to glue it down here. And after I glue it, I'm going to use some washi tape and put across here and wrap it around to the other side. Just to add some color. Over here, this is going to be writing space, but it's going to get sewn down here. So this is going to flip out. And inside here is going to be more writing space. And I'm going to put a pocket in here. Now, all this is going to be done before it gets sewn in. These are just going to be writing pages that are going to get tucked right into the middle, okay, of this big one. So, let's make our little pocket. Now, this is going on the front. So, we're going to just round these little corners on the front while we have it here. Just like this. Just like that. Now, this is going to get on the front and there's going to be a little tag that goes in there. So we're going to put that up there so we don't lose it. Now, let's make a couple of little pockets. Now, let's put that off to the side because that's going to be for another project that we're going to do here in a minute. Now, for our little pockets in there, I got out some paper that came from the same... Is that it? That's not it. Hold on. Oh, here it is. It's under the paper box. From the same... the same paper pack. And I think we're going to keep it simple. And we're just going to use this gray. And we're just going to make some simple pockets. They're not going to be big fancy pockets. They're just going to be simple pockets. Where did the paper cutter go? Oh, there it is. No, because Mom's busy. Mom... You know, Mom, for this one, she's busy. She doesn't have time for... Okay, so in here, we need to measure... Let's get that paper out of there. Okay, so in here, I want to pocket across here, and I want to pocket across here. Now, I don't want to take up all that room, because we're going to be able to put some paper in the pockets, and the same over here. So this page is, we're going to cut these pockets about 3.5 inches wide. So let's cut us a strip that's 3.5 inches wide. Now we're going to make these pockets a little bit deeper than normal. Than what I normally do. Normally I make my pockets right about 2 inches deep, but we're going to make the one over here. We're going to make this one a little bit deeper because we're going to have another one on top of it. Now on the other side, we're going to stick with the 2 inches. No, you know what? I think we're going to go with a side tuck on there, over on that side. So that's about 1.25 inches wide. But it's way too long, of course. So let's cut our length. And then, of course, we'll have to round our edges. So we're going to cut it right about there. We're going to cut it right above that gray line. How about we cut it right at that gray line, and then we can trim it. So we're going to round these outside corners. Yeah. So we're going to round those outside corners. Come on. Here we go. Okay, and now in here, we're not going to do anything. It's going to go up against here like that. So for this, I think I'm okay to use this. Make sure I'm... Oh, what a mess. I've got to find my cap. Okay. And we're going to put that right there. Just like that. Now here we're going to round these. Let's see, let's cut another piece from there. Let's see if we have another, the gold. Here, let's use this gold. It matches the gold in the flowers. So this was, how big was this? 3 inches? Was that 3? Nope, must have been 3.5. Okay. So, if this one was 2.5, we're going to make this one 2 because we're going to stack them. All right, so. And then we're going to round these top corners. Okay. So these are going to sit like this. Now we just need a little teeny baby nibble out of these. They don't need to be big nibbles. There, like that. Okay. Now I have one that is a little bit smaller than this. This is, I think, a 4x6. I think mine is a 3x5, and I love it. I love, love, love it. Mine's not laminated. Mine's just made out of brown cardstock that it's actually my second version of it, that I covered with a napkin. And in my pockets, I just stick little bits of paper, kind of like what we're going to do tonight. Like this little bit, I'll stick in here, or maybe up here. We'll take this little piece and we'll tuck over here, because sometimes I'm in Lowe's or the grocery store and my husband will call and he'll have me write down a note, or he'll want it. He wants, all the time, he wants me to write things down. So we'll write down little notes or little measurements. Oh, there's my little caps. And so it works great having these in your purse. And, you know, just having them handy so that you can do something like that. That's the best part of it, having them handy. Just all types of little bits and pieces of paper. This one, well, we're just going to cut that straight. We'll put that little piece of paper in there. Here we go. We'll put that in there like that. And let's cut a little piece of this. Now we're also going to cut some plain white paper and put in here. There we go. Now I have some plain white paper someplace. I just had it. I just got it out. That's not it. Where did it go? Oh, here it is. So we're going to take these plain white paper scraps and I'm going to fold this. Okay. Now, these are just going to be little note pieces. Just little notes, you know, pieces of paper she can write little notes on, you know, to remind her to do something for little grocery lists, little things like that. So that little piece can go back there. This little piece will tuck up here. Let's see, how about we put this little piece up here? We'll put this little white piece back here. There we go. So here's some little note cards for. All right, so back here, we're going to glue this down. And while that's drying, I'll hold my hand on it here for a minute. I'm going to squish that down real good. Okay. Now, I'm going to put a clamp on this edge here for a second. Right here to make sure that holds down really well. Okay. Oh, we have one more little. Okay. Open that up. Okay. So now we have little note pieces in there. And then back here she'll have where she can put little notes. All right. So let's get these together. So these are going to tuck in here like this. And then these, now I have to bring them down. Now these are all going to get sewn in here together. So we need to make sure that that doesn't get sewn in. And I will take all this out as I'm sewing so I don't sew it wrong. Okay, so I think that's probably held. Okay, so let's get, I think, I'm thinking maybe some white thread for that. So let me grab the thread. Hold on just a second. Okay, so I did find a little bit of green that matches the front, so I think we'll use the green. All right, so let's line these up here. Let me move our glue. We don't need it. Let me get a paper clip here. Let's get these centered. All right, so I'm putting these in the middle. And I've got my thumb into the center here, holding everything back against the center. You know, I don't want anything to bird beak out. See, I've got it as back, far against the back as I can get it. Now, I want to make sure, now, everything has an ups and downs because this is the bottom. So I need to make sure that my pages are going the right way. Okay, there are my pockets. And there's that. Okay. Now, if you want your pages, your regular pages to go in front of these, you have to do it now. Okay. Or if you want to split these up, like there's only 4 pages. So like we could put a page in front of them like this. I could put a page here. Now I'd have to trim it and then have that flip over. We could do that. But I want all my pockets together. Okay. So let's put that back together. But it's completely up to you. However you want yours to look. You know, it's your mom or your graduate. You know, however you want yours to look. Okay, so let me get mine tucked back in there. Make sure everything's where it needs to be. Okay. Now, the first one I'm going to do is the center. And I'm just folding it over. And I'm just pushing it through. See? It's right there. Right here. Okay. And then I'm coming up toward the top, and maybe, I don't know, I might be about an inch down, and I'm pushing through. And I'm coming down to what I think is the bottom. I'm not really sure. And I'm doing about the same distance. And I'm pushing through. It's right here. Okay. Now, I'm going to put this right back in the center until I get this out. Now, I want my needle that's blunt edged. There it is. Now, over the top of that, you might be saying, well, you just split your cardstock. I did, and I will take care of that because I'm going to cover it. 3. Okay, so you sew them in exactly the same. Now, you don't have to sew this in. You could do, you know, one that isn't sewn in. Okay, see how that tore a little bit there? That's okay. I'm going to be covering the spine anyhow. Okay, so I'm going to hold on to this. So you come out toward the middle. Then you come in. Oh, my hole's closing up. Come on. Come on. Now, don't you go. Then you go out to the bottom, or the top. It, you know, I don't know which is which at this point. Now I'm going to come back in through this middle hole, but I'm not going to have enough right here, so I need to give myself enough, or I'm going to lose that. Okay. So when I pull that in, I need to put my needle over here on the other side. Okay, these need to be even. To get them even, you tug on your threads that are already there. The bottom does this side, the top does this side. Till it sounds, you know, snug, like a guitar string. You do it just like we do our journals. Exactly the same. And I always tie this wrong, don't I? Did it wrong again. Okay. Now you can look, snug it down. Oh, it's upside down. Okay. There's that. There's our pages. Now we're going to cut that off. And I put my little washi tape there, and there's our little tuck. Okay, so now we're going to put this on the front. Nope, I sewed one of my hairs into it. All right, let's get this glued onto the front because it needs to dry so I can get our tag into it. Or, yeah, our little tag into it. Now, you can tell I'm not doing any type of inking around the edges. But if you want to, you feel free to do so. You know, normally I'm all about it. Okay. Now, that needs to dry before I can put anything in it. Now, you could write a label on there. You could write a note. You could do anything you wanted on there. Now, I'm just going to tie this in a little bow. There. Okay. Put that back on there. Now, here is another version, and it's a tiny version. This one is the 3x5. This is the size that I carry in my purse. And in mine has coffee dyed paper scraps in it. That's all it has in it, like cutoffs. I have taken little cutoffs like this, and I've folded them. And I've put them in here. So I've taken pages like this. And I've folded some in half. And I'll fold some back. And to me, I don't care what they look like. You know, so mine's full of pages like this. And then I'll trim it so it's even up here. And it's basically the same thing except a smaller version. Now on the inside, I have a little pocket here and a little pocket back here. And again, it's the same thing. I have little bits of scrap paper that are in there for me to tuck into. And if you were to look into mine right now, you would see notes that my husband has written from a project that we did for my garden. And notes that he wrote to himself from a phone call that he got while we were in Lowe's. Because he uses mine as much as I do. Because he never takes stuff with him to Lowe's. So this is the type of paper that I put in it. I just take plain printer paper and plain coffee dyed paper scraps. And I just fold them up and I just stick them in until I'm happy with it. And I say, that makes me happy. Just like that. And then I might tear that piece off. And then, of course, I'll trim that. And this is truly, this type would truly be a little junk journal, because it's just made with leftover pieces. And this piece might wrap around this one. And I might actually even take this off. And very rarely do I cut anything when I make them this little. And I might make this an actual pocket. I might glue that down and make it a pocket. Like that. And sometimes I even fold them this way. And put them in. And I have been known to use envelope pieces in them. You know, whatever envelope pieces I happen to have, I'll use those. If I happen to have them on my desk, I'll use an envelope piece. And if I don't have one, well, then I don't use them. So if somebody in your life likes things like this, just little scrappy bits, you know, then this one's just like a little scrappy bit. Then you just take your scissors, you know, make it neat on the edges. And then I will sew them in. I'll just hold on to it. And I'll only do 2 holes with this one. Where's that? Here it is. I will put 1 hole here. And 1 here. And with this one, I think I'm going to use the darker blue. No, maybe I'll stick with the green. 1, 2. Now, I need a smaller needle. But I still need to be able to get that thread through it. I think this one will work. Maybe, maybe not. No, that one won't work. Okay. That one maybe. Well, I guess I'm going to have to use this one again. That one's smaller. Let's try that one. Yeah, there we go. Now for this one, I'll come in from the outside. I haven't forgotten to cover that one. I am. And I'm going to hold it out here. And then I'm going to come in out from this way. And then out here. Now, if you have those little, you know, covers, those little, what are they called? You know, that go over your things, those little paper ones. You can use those on these small ones because they bend. You can't use eyelets, though. But you do need to make sure that this is tied very snugly. And I don't think I tied that very snug. Oh, maybe I did. Yeah. Now, on the outside of this one, you could put a little eyelet if you wanted. I mean, a little charm. There. Now, this one's just got the little scrappy bits in it. Now, again, I would round my corners. And in here... Ooh. Okay, so I don't need that. I would take these little scraps here and measure 4. I need to erase my pencil marks. Measure for a little pocket, because on these that are little scrappy bits, you have to have a pocket on them. That's for sure. Because you're always writing yourself a little note and tucking it someplace. There you go. Okay. Now, let's erase this. Oh, that's a terrible eraser. That's a terrible eraser. Let's use the good one. Oh, there we go. Okay, where'd it go? Now for this, I would and then just make sure all of my, make sure all your pencil lines are erased. If you have big pieces of cardstock like this, make sure that those pencil lines are erased. And then glue, this is bigger cardstock, this is thicker cardstock. I'm going to glue this together, which I forgot to do. Oh, darn. That doesn't go there. Lori, I'm telling you what, folks. This does not go here. I need to get that off of there before I tear my paper. Well, too late. That does not go there. You know why that does not go there? Because this goes there to help support that. That's why that does not go there. I thought that felt a little thin. Kept thinking, why does this paper feel so doggone thin? Now I know why. because I forgot to glue this on. Okay, that makes more sense. And that feels better too. Now let's do it on the back. Goodness sakes. Crazy girl. Okay. Welcome to Lori's Craft Desk, where if it can go wrong, it's going to go wrong. There. Now, this is the little scrappy bits. So for mine, I would definitely ink around this little bitty one. Just take it and hit the edges a little bit. Just a smidgen, just like that. And I would not put anything on the front. In most of my little scrappy bits ones like these, I tear edges off of them, you know, as I go through and I write things down on them. I tear bits and pieces off of them. So these are two different styles that you can make depending on the person that you're making it for. You know, I had a friend, Paula, and she had me make 7 like this, 3 like this. So, no, it just depends. It just totally depends. Now, let's see. Where is my... oh, here it is. I want to put that little tag in there. Let's see if that little tag will fit. Now, it came in this little paper pack, so it matched. Let me see if I still have it. Or if I've already cut it out. If so, we'll just cut out something else. I thought I stuck it in here. But I might have already taken it out and lost it. Okay, well, I don't see it. So we're just gonna use this. So let's cut this down a little bit. Okay, there we go. Oh, that's much better. Okay, now at the top, I want to put, where's it? Nope, I think I want this curl. right there. Now, perfect. Now on the back, to cover that up, we are going to put one of the other little stickers at. There they are. There. We're going to pick that up and let it hang out a little bit like that. There we go. So we have two little, and you can add these kind of little stickers all through your book if you want. You can even add them in your little scrappy book if you want. I like to add little stickers through my little scrappy books. Okay, so there we go. We have two different styles of little scrappy books that you can use for Mother's Day. We have the one that's just made with bits and pieces of scraps, scrap paper. And then we have one that's a little bit bigger, a little more stylized. When you open it up, it's got some pockets. Oh, we need to put our things back in it, don't we? It's got some little places that you can write some notes on. It's got some scraps of paper. Let's get this out of the way here. Oh, where did they go? Uh-oh. Here, we'll put this little piece. Let's cut that little piece down. Maybe we'll put it back here. Okay, let's see. We need to cut it. So we'll tuck that little piece in there. And where are those other pieces? There they are. Okay. Yeah, we'll put some more in there. There. We'll tuck that little piece in there to write some notes on. There. So you've got this one that's a little more stylized, got a little more room for notes. Here's a whole little note section. Back here you've got this. Plus you've got this you can put some notes on. And you can put some more paper back here too if you want. So there's this one. And then there's Scrappy Bits. Scrappy Bits is that. It's made just from little scrappy bits of paper. You can write notes on. You can tear it out. You can do whatever you want with it. And you can add a little pocket right here if you want. Okay. So there you go. So thank you for joining me for this fun, quick tutorial. It's great for Mother's Day, for little graduates, for anyone that you need to make a quick gift for, something you need for a craft fair. You could make them together like this, you know, and put them in little packets. You could sell them separately. You could do anything you want with them. So, here we go. So, there you go. Now you have some ideas for your craft fair ideas and for Mother's Day that's coming up. So, I'm glad you joined me tonight. I hope you had fun. I hope that you got some ideas, and I hope that you make one or two, or at least give it a try, because they're a lot of fun to do. And put your spin on it. use your favorite paper, or the paper that maybe you think your mom would like. You know, if she has a favorite color or a favorite pattern, that's the one that you need to choose. You know, my mom's favorite color was blue, so I would have chosen a blue pattern for my mom. You know, and if you're going to make a little tag, maybe actually make something from something like that. So, I want to thank you again for joining me here at the Ladybug Journals. And until I see you again on our next video, ta-ta for now.